Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 24th. We are going to jump right in here, Libra. Let's get that to focus. And we are going to see what is going on for you. You have this retrograde card, and guess what? We have a bunch of retrogrades going on, Venus, Mercury. So it makes sense that this retrograde energy would show up for you. Could be doing a lot of reflecting with this energy. It's actually a really good reading. You have this wish granted card. You have the Sun, the Empress. A lot of good stuff coming in for you here. The last row is strangely heavy, but again, this is part 1, by the way. There will be a part 2 to this reading linked up down below. So we will be kind of seeing what's going on here in this last row. You have this responsibility card, this meerkat spirit. And so some of you could be dealing with some responsibilities in your life. You have the Hierophant here. Hierophant kind of is a card of responsibility because it can be a card of like your morals, and you might feel like you have a certain moral responsibility to do something in your life with the Hierophant. It's also a card of initiation. He represents the 3 stages of initiation, which are initiation, apprenticeship, and then mastery. So really 3 stages of mastery. And it's like you could be reaching kind of like a new level of mastery in your life where you're mastering something. But that could also include more responsibilities with this meerkat spirit. So you have the Hierophant, the 7 of Swords, and the King of Cups. The Hierophant, again, can represent marriage, but it's kind of interesting. Hierophant to the Empress to the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is a bunch of responsibilities. The 10 of Wands is you shouldering a lot of burdens. So I kind of feel like the Hierophant is more saying that you need to look at what responsibilities you want to shoulder. I feel like you need to look at the responsibilities that you want to be carrying in your life, Libra. That's going to be very important for you. The thing with the Hierophant is that like when you think of the word mastery doesn't mean knowing everything, even though he's a card of knowledge. Mastery represents like focused knowledge. It's more like being good at really, really good at one thing. So I do get that kind of like focus here with this energy. You do have the 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing. I definitely see a situation. For some of you, you have this Wreath card. It says sorrow over a loss. But I get a weird feeling here because you also have that Wishbone card, which says wish is granted. I get this feeling where, I feel like for some of you, it's like maybe you kind of have asked the universe to remove any situations that aren't good for you in your life in a certain way. And now that the wish has been granted, it's kind of like be careful what you wish for, right? Like I feel like you're getting something, but you could still be a little bit sad about it. I've told this story before. It's like in some of my past relationships, I've like said, if this person isn't right for me, then take them out of my life, and then boom, they're like literally within like a day. I've had it happen multiple times where it's like a day later the person breaks up with me. And, I've told this story before. And so it's like I ask and you shall receive, and I've been like, what the hell? Like, why is this perfect? Then I'm mad about it. Right. And so that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting here off the last road. It's like, you're asking for something, but it's like, do you really want it? Well, actually, probably you do. Because again, if it's removed from your life, then it isn't right. It isn't right for you. And I'm not saying it's love. For some of you, it could be love, but for others, it could be just anything else. The King of Cups, again, could be love. I also feel that the King of Cups could be talking about your emotions. A lot of signs have been getting the King of Cups this week in particular. King of Cups, we can control our own reality with the King of Cups. He represents having very deep emotions, and that's how he controls his reality. He controls his emotions. He feels things before he has them, so he feels things into existence. And I feel like that's going to be very important for you at this time. It's funny because we even have the Sun to the 10 of Wands in your bottom row. Sorry, you probably can't even see it, but you have the Sun and the 10 of Wands here. And that's almost what I would be focusing on if I were you. It's like the 10 of Wands is a burden, but at the same time, it's not really a bad card because he's about to reach this village that's right here. So it can be a card of burdens and responsibilities. It is a burden. It is a burden to think positively. Trust me, as someone who has like spent the last like 3 years only thinking positively to kind of to the point of looking like a crazy person. It's like when everyone around you is miserable and it's like you look crazy and it becomes a burden to think only positively. And, so I definitely see how that could be a possibility here with the 10 of Wands, but I would do it anyway because it's going to be good for you. Next, you have this retrograde card. This card says review. Again, we have Venus retrograde, which will actually be ending on the 29th. But we also have Mercury retrograde. Basically, we'll be dealing with that through February for the most part. Even though it ends in mid-February. So again, typical retrograde rules. I want to see what this next card is as well. You have the 8th house. It says mystery. So very mysterious time. I've said the word mystery about, I don't know, 10 times. I'm almost done with all the readings, and I've said the word mystery to a bunch of different signs. So, there could be some sort of mystery, or you could be experiencing some mysteries in your life with this energy. I would dig into mysteries. Again, I always say that retrogrades, I hesitate to say don't do anything during a retrograde. I've done plenty of things during retrogrades, and do I regret it after? No. I think that we should be making mistakes during retrogrades because that's when we learn more. So it kind of drives me nuts when I see astrologers and stuff say don't travel, or they say don't get into a relationship or whatever. I say do it, and just realize that's a retrograde, and say to yourself, this might be different after. That's the thing about retrogrades, is it's just because it's retrograde, it doesn't mean something isn't going to work out after. It just means that maybe you're, things are going to be different after the retrograde. Maybe you only do something for a short period of time, but there's probably something you can learn from it. So it's we need to learn from our mistakes. So something might be a mistake, could be a mystery, but I would do it anyway, is what this is saying to me. So especially if you're feeling motivated to do something, Queen of Wands as your first card, I would do it. You have the Queen of Wands, the Empress, and the Sun. A lot of happiness here. Again, I would be focused on the happiness and joy and abundance coming in for you. This is glow up energy, glow up vibes, right, with the Empress. So definitely energy of empowerment and an energy of abundance with the Queen, or with the Empress card. You have the Queen of Wands here as well. And the Queen of Wands and the Empress kind of represent mysteries as well. She has a black cat right here. The Empress, she has this planchette, from a Ouija board right here. So I feel for a lot of you that it's kind of very spooky energy, very much needing to trust your intuition at this time. I feel you could be very intuitive. You could be, receiving intuitive messages as well. And I feel there's a lot of abundance. My thing with the Empress is that she understands chaotic force as well. And she kind of understands destruction because, wrong camera, sorry Libra, there's a waterfall. Sorry, I can't get my fingers right here. There's a waterfall right here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a waterfall on the Empress. She understands chaotic force. She understands destruction. She understands life and death and rebirth and all that other stuff. And again, you have this Ten of Swords right here. So I kind of feel you have this understanding that you need to release something. And we see that here in your last row. You have the wreath, which says sorrow over a loss. And you also have this wishbone card, which says a wish granted. So, it's you could be experiencing a loss, but it could be kind of a little bit of a blessing in disguise here. Because again, there is some sort of wish coming in for you. You have the Ten of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. To me, this is kind of simple, actually. I feel that this is saying that you're releasing something from the past to go on a new adventure. The readings have been ridiculously simple this week, which is nice. I love that. To me, when there isn't this major overcomplicated energy, to me, very straightforward. Again, you're letting go of something. And the Ten of Swords actually isn't a bad card either because he is making a symbol with his hand right here that represents a blessing. He's making the same symbol that the Hierophant is with his hand here. So it's kind of you could be receiving a blessing with the Ten of Swords, or there could be some sort of blessing in disguise coming in for you, but it's going to be some sort of release, something that has been a burden for a very long period of time with the Ten of Wands. It's you're about to reach this village, you're about to have a release, and you're about to go on a new journey with the Page of Wands. So I feel there is some sort of new beginning coming in for you. Before we do part 2, I'm actually going to clarify this, and I want to see if we can get any more details on this journey. I'm going to pull another one of these cards here. You have the Moon, which says perception on it. So clearly your perception of things is going to be very important. We kind of said this with your King of Cups, that it might be a burden for you in this bottom row to think positively. It might require a lot of work. Trust me, there are times where I just want to be, mad or whatever. So I do feel this is saying don't ignore your emotions, of course, right? I heavily criticize spiritual teachers that are oh, you have to be happy and dancing with the fairies and all this other shit. It's no. We are here in the 3D for a reason. It's like some of these spiritual teachers try to get people to be 5D, but it's like we're not 5D. We are here to have a 3D experience, and I think people forget that sometimes. It's like we're not here to have a spiritual experience. I think people can be too spiritual. I'm not saying we shouldn't be spiritual, but I think people can, dive into it a little bit too much. And, trust me, I'm all about the fairies and all that other stuff, so I'm not criticizing it, but what I am saying is it's like when you're doing things like ignoring your feelings, then it becomes a problem. In this last row, Two of Cups could be about love. Two of Cups is really your soul's calling, though. Two of Cups is you and your higher self. So it's like your higher self is calling you out to something much greater than whatever that Ten of Swords is. You could be moving on to a new relationship as well. Yeah, Knight of Cups, Knight in Shining Armor. Knight of Cups is really your dream. He's normally looking into that cup and he's imagining his dream life. He's imagining like what his dream could be, and he's trying to move towards that. And you have the Two of Swords. Everybody's had the Two of Swords this week. She needs to turn around and see that things can be different over here on this island. She's basically sitting where she has always been, and she hasn't experienced anything new in a while. So again, pretty much everybody has had the Two of Swords. All three air signs readings were extremely, very similar. So in a lot of ways, I feel like the reading is saying, hey, turn around. There are some new opportunities in a new direction. Like I said, I do feel like this is going to be work for whatever reason. It's going to be interesting to see what comes up in part 2, because you do have that 10 of Wands after the Sun. Maybe this is work because on the Sun card, the Sun, this is your inner child right here, and there's a wall that is built up behind him. It kind of represents the wall that we all build up around our inner child. We all have this wall to a certain degree built up in our head where we're like, I can't do this because it's childish or whatever, whatever it is you want to do, right? And the Sun says, no, let your inner child out. Because the Sun, this baby or the child is holding this flag. This flag is meant to look like something that is very heavy, but he's carrying it with ease. It's meant to look like he is having no difficulty at all. So it kind of, the Sun can represent a certain flow in our life, or it can say that something is going to be, easy for us to handle. Something is going to be easy for us to carry, but we have to focus on our inner child. We have to focus on happiness to have it. I do also feel like this could be love. Again, could be a fire sign going in this direction here. Sun, Page of Wands, Two of Cups, perfect match. Be like a knight in shining armor coming in for you. Very interesting. Looks pretty good here, Libra. So we're going to hop on to part 2. Part 2 will be linked up in the pinned comment down below. So make sure to check out part 2. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.